Welcome back to the Mr. Funk page. We are going to build a JavaScript timer from scratch. We're going to use this little project as a vehicle to learn how to use React. You may be wondering, why React though? Static applications are very well supported by HTML and CSS, and a little bit of JavaScript here and there for any clicks and such. But when you go into the field of dynamic 2022 web applications, you're going to be competing with a higher standard. It feels more like a desktop application nowadays, and that means building a dynamic application, web application. And the code to make a web application dynamic is very difficult to maintain. That's where React comes in. You don't have to maintain React. But that's not the only benefit. It also brings structure. React's going to structure your page in a completely different way. As a matter of fact, it's not even a page. It's just a sum of components. And it's going to have some opinions as to how you should structure those components. And there will also be opinions on how to manage state changes across the components, within the components, and across the application itself. Managing state is difficult in the front end, and React makes it very simple with a few opinions that guide you in the right direction. And we're going to walk through all of those pitfalls and the proper ways of doing it. React will also take care of the updates that need to happen to the HTML page in a very efficient way. If you go ahead and make your own out-of-the-box framework, you'll find that the naive implementation of just updating the whole page is not as efficient as React's reconciliation methods that underneath the hood will prevent doing updates where they are not necessary and will be completely responsible to figuring out what bits of the page need to get updated and when. And as long as you follow their guidelines and recommendations, you can really leverage this in your favor. React is not the panacea for all web projects. It does have some drawbacks, most notably SEO. There are some workarounds with server rendered single page applications. And there is a small learning curve for experienced developers, but it's a pretty steep learning curve for new developers. So keep those things in mind when you go with React. But again, you get so much out of the box that I think it's a good deal. In sum, after this class, you will be able to intelligently talk about hooks, state, components, routes, props, side effects, context and navigation, and every little space in between. You will be able to create components, and you will understand the features around those components. And that's why we do React. Also, it helps that it is the leading framework in terms of hireability. So if you can prove to an employer that you are proficient at React, you've basically got a job. So let's do this.